Right now, somewhere over southern China, a pilotless aircraft carrying a living, breathing passenger is lifting straight up off a rooftop with no runway, no wings flapping, and no human hand on the controls. In the same city, a few blocks away, a food delivery is arriving not by scooter, but by drone, dropping a bubble tea through the drizzle onto a riverside promenade. This isn't a movie set. This is Shenzhen on an ordinary afternoon in what China is now calling its low-altitude economy. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how it's built, how it works, and why it might reshape the way a billion people move. Here's the part that should stop you in your tracks. China wants 100,000 air taxis and personal flying vehicles in its skies by 2030. Not prototypes sitting in a hangar. Actual vehicles, actually flying, actually carrying people and cargo through cities. To put that in perspective, China currently has just over 3,000 general aviation aircraft in total. That means this industry has to grow more than 30-fold in less than a decade.
And the airspace they're aiming for isn't the stratosphere where commercial jets cruise. It's the layer right above your head, below 1,000 meters, the same sky where birds fly and rooftops sit. China has essentially declared that this invisible slice of urban air is now real estate, and it's racing to build the infrastructure, the aircraft, and the rules to claim it first. So why does this matter? Because this isn't a hobby industry anymore. In 2023, activity in this low airspace generated around $70 billion for the Chinese economy. State planners project that number will balloon to roughly $490 billion by 2035. That's not drone toys and hobbyist quadcopters. That's agriculture, logistics, tourism, emergency response, and passenger transport, all stacked into a brand new layer of the economy that simply didn't exist a decade ago. And here's the twist almost nobody talks about. Most of what makes this possible isn't the aircraft itself. It's the invisible manufacturing and infrastructure network underneath it. The batteries, the flight control systems, the landing platforms, and the weather forecasting technology built specifically for machines that fly low and slow.
Most people have never seen any of it because it's happening inside factories, testing labs, and government control rooms most cameras never enter. Let's start where every flying machine starts. Not in the sky, but on a factory floor, with raw materials that look nothing like an aircraft yet. The heart of every drone and every electric air taxi is its battery. And in China's low-altitude economy, batteries are treated less like a component and more like the entire ballgame. Agricultural drones need battery cells that can discharge huge bursts of power to lift heavy tanks of pesticide or seed. Logistics drones need something completely different: high energy density and the ability to swap out a spent battery for a fresh one in seconds. Because a delivery drone that sits charging for 2 hours is a delivery drone that's losing money. Inspection drones, the ones that fly along power lines and pipelines for hours at a time, need batteries that survive freezing temperatures at altitude without losing half their charge.
Every one of these use cases starts with raw lithium, cobalt, and specialized battery chemistries sourced and refined through supply chains that Chinese manufacturers have spent years optimizing to be faster and cheaper than almost anywhere else on Earth. But this is where things get interesting, because a battery alone doesn't fly anything. It needs a nervous system. That nervous system is the flight control system, and this is where Chinese manufacturing shows its real advantage. In most countries, building a drone means sourcing motors from one supplier, electronic speed controllers from another, flight computers from a third, and airframes from a fourth, then waiting weeks for parts to arrive and be integrated. In China's drone manufacturing clusters, particularly in Guangdong province, nearly all of these components exist within the same regional supply chain. A company can go from a design sketch to a flying, tested prototype in a fraction of the time it takes anywhere else.
This single fact, more than any government subsidy, is why China now produces an estimated 70% of the world's commercial drones, dominated by a single company most people have heard of, DJI. However, the next step changes everything, because building a drone that flies in an open field is easy. Building one that flies safely over a crowded city, sharing airspace with thousands of others, is an entirely different engineering problem. This is where the most impressive part of the entire system comes into play: the airspace network itself. Shenzhen alone has built more than 200 takeoff and landing platforms across the city, with plans to expand past 1,200, all wired into more than 8,000 new 5G advanced base stations, specifically installed to give low-flying aircraft constant, reliable connectivity below 600 meters. Layered on top of that hardware sits something called the Smart Integrated Lower Airspace System, essentially an air traffic control network built from scratch for machines that fly close to rooftops rather than high above the clouds.
Think of it as a second, invisible road system stacked directly above the one you already drive on, except every vehicle in it has to know the exact position of every other vehicle in real time, because at these altitudes, a communication delay of even a few seconds could mean a collision over a crowded street. At this point, one tiny mistake could ruin the entire system, and China knows it, which is why an entire government agency has been assigned a job that sounds almost absurd until you think about it: predicting the weather specifically for drones. Earlier this year, 10 separate Chinese government bodies, including the National Meteorological Administration, released a coordinated plan to build custom weather forecasting standards for low-altitude aircraft, covering rain, visibility, and turbulence at altitudes most weather models never bothered to analyze in detail before. Regular weather forecasts are built for airliners cruising at 35,000 feet, or for pedestrians walking under an umbrella. Nobody had built one specifically for a drone hovering 40 meters above a rooftop until China decided that gap was a national infrastructure problem worth solving.
Now, for quality control, and this is where the obsession with precision becomes almost extreme, every eVTOL, the electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft that function as flying taxis, has to pass a battery of certification tests before it's allowed to carry a single human passenger. Manufacturers like EHang have run their aircraft through hundreds of test flights, including trials over ports, rivers, and dense urban zones, long before regulators sign off on passenger service. One aircraft alone, the EHang EH216S, has completed test flights carrying real passengers at speeds up to roughly 130 kilometers per hour, with a range of about 30 kilometers. Numbers that sound modest until you remember this thing has no pilot on board at all. Every flight is logged, every anomaly investigated, because a single publicized failure could set the entire industry's public trust back years. In an industry racing to prove it's safe enough for your grandmother to ride in, there is zero tolerance for shortcuts. Here are a few facts that might genuinely surprise you. By the end of 2025, China had roughly 3.3 million registered drones in its skies, a jump of over 50% in a single year. Those drones logged more than 45 million flight hours in 2025 alone, a nearly 70% increase from the year before. Guangdong Province, the epicenter of this industry, is home not just to DJI, but to EHang, the logistics drone arm of shipping giant SF Express, and even a flying car division built by the electric vehicle maker XPeng. Hubei Province, meanwhile, is currently developing 9 separate eVTOL models simultaneously, with 4 already flight tested. And in agriculture alone, over 250,000 drones now spray, seed, and monitor crops across China, cutting jobs that once took weeks down to days. In one wheat-growing region, an entire season's crop spraying that used to take a small army of workers is now finished in about 3 days by drone fleets. Zoom out, and the scale becomes almost dizzying. This isn't confined to one city or one province. Provinces across China are competing against each other to dominate this market, each pouring billions of yuan into landing infrastructure, manufacturing incentives, and pilot programs, essentially racing to become the Silicon Valley of low-altitude flight. And it isn't staying inside China's borders either. Industry analysts increasingly expect Chinese-made eVTOLs and drone technology to become major exports, particularly to Southeast Asian markets, where demand for affordable air mobility solutions is expected to explode once the safety case is proven at home first. So picture it one more time. Raw lithium pulled from the ground, refined into battery cells engineered for split-second power bursts, married to flight computers built in the same industrial cluster that makes the motors and airframes, tested relentlessly against government safety standards, then lifted into a custom-built layer of airspace, tracked by a dedicated air traffic network, and even forecasted by its own weather service. What started as raw material sitting in the ground has become a passenger-carrying pilotless aircraft lifting off a rooftop in Guangzhou, or a drone dropping bubble tea through the rain in Shenzhen. That's the low-altitude economy, an entirely new layer of civilization built from scratch, one battery cell and one flight test at a time. China is betting hundreds of billions of dollars that this is the next great transportation revolution, and industry insiders are calling 2026 the year this technology finally crosses from experiment into everyday reality. Whether the rest of the world follows at the same pace is still an open question. What do you think? Would you actually step into a pilotless flying taxi if one landed on your rooftop tomorrow? Let us know in the comments and tell us what manufacturing process you want us to break down next. If this video pulled back the curtain on something you'd never seen before, hit like and subscribe because there's a lot more hidden inside the machines that build our world.